couldn't have come at a better time because I just had my mower break on me, so my lawn's looking like a little bit of a jungle. Out here is not too bad, but when I get to the back, you're gonna see it's about 12 to 18 inches in some spot. Welcome back to Freshly Charged, where I have the future of electric lawnmowers, the Litheli EasySurge. By far the coolest electric lawnmower that I've put my eyes on. Looks like it comes from the future, mixed with Star Trek and F1 racing. Let's go ahead and just dive right in to a quick walkthrough of this. Starting out with the cockpit, they call this the EasySurge panel. On the right side, there's a dial that you can adjust the speed settings between 1.3 to 2.9 miles per hour for the self-propelled mode. On the left dial, you can adjust the cutting height anywhere between 1 to 3 inches. Buttons that control the self-propelled and gets it moving. And then you have these trigger handles which engage the mowers when you press the overclocking button. In the center of the surge panel, this will show you all the battery levels. So we have 2 batteries in the front that are at full charge, no batteries in the rear, that's why it's blinking red. You have this overclocking button, which allows you to reach the top peak of 4,100 RPMs for the mower and allows you to draw in as much power as possible in case you run into some tall grass where you need some extra power. Moving down, you have a quick adjustment to easily make it compact. Drop it in 2 seconds. I'll show you what that looks like. Pulling it out is really simple. Just pop it into place and you hear that click. You have 2 different types of angles that you can be at, 55 degrees or 45 degrees. And then this is really simple. You can drop it in place, make it ultra compact, and then pick it up. Let's say you want it at 45-degree angles, and then go ahead and simply latch it. In the back, you have an easy to remove bag, and getting on the bag is really simple. Just simply lift it up and set it in place. And there's also an attachment for mulching, so you can just shove that right into there. Plastic wheels, and then this is where you can see that easy adjustment of the height. See that? Pretty sweet. Let's go down, and then at the lowest setting, it's at 1 inch. I used to think I wanted a hoopty car with hydraulics. Now I'm excited about a lawnmower with hydraulics. Woo! Under this cover, you have a place for 4 different batteries. You can get it with 2 batteries or 4 batteries. They take about 1.5 hours to charge with a fast charger. These are really cool. These are the batteries that you can use for all sorts of different tools. You can put this in a trimmer, a blower, pretty sweet stuff. But you can also use them as a power bank, so they supply you with a USB-C cable where you can charge your peripherals like your cell phone. Easy enough to drop it in place, find it down, clicks, and then they pop right out. With 2 batteries, they expect you to get about 30 minutes of uninterrupted mowing time. On the bottom, you have a manganese steel blade with dual quenching to make sure that the blade is nice and hard and great for mowing. A really sweet looking mower. I'm excited to mow with this. So let's go ahead and start mowing with the EasySurge and see how well it performs. Kind of blundered there. I actually forgot to adjust the height setting. I had it lower than I normally mow. I'm gonna change the mowing height up to the highest height. So this is a lot lower than I really wanted to mow. I wanted to mow it at about 3 inches. It mowed it at about 1.75 inches. So yeah, my grass is really long. I literally just did 4 strips and almost filled up the whole bag, but it's been doing a pretty decent job at bagging. That's one issue that I've had with my previous electric lawnmower. It only pulled out from a little hole, and there would be a lot of grass bundled up at the front so that it couldn't really fill up a full bag. So I do like the blowing power of getting the clippings back into the bag. It does a pretty decent job. I'm gonna actually try the overclocking feature to see how well it does with extra long grass. It's gotten a little wild here. My wife is not happy that I'm disappointing the neighbors. It's cutting surprisingly really clean for how long that grass was. It's not perfect, but for how long the grass was in some areas, about 12 inches, it's really clean cut. So there's a couple stragglers here where it didn't quite get it, but that's expected when your grass is so tall to begin with when you're cutting. I bet if my grass was actually at a regular length, the cut would be premium on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down, and I'll probably go over it a second time just to show you exactly what a traditional cut would look like if your grass isn't so overgrown. Don't make the mistake like me where you don't put on the bag correctly. So I thought, oh man, I've assembled so many different electric toys, but I didn't install the bag correctly, and let me show you what I did wrong. The bag kept falling off on me. So when the bag is shipped, this metal bar that runs across the whole entryway is not assembled. You have to connect it on this front part. And now that I've fixed that, it's working perfectly fine now and the bag is staying in place. So don't be like me where you don't read instructions. And one feature I really love about this lawnmower is that it has self-propelled mode where I can go between 1.3 to 2.9 miles per hour. On my last electric mower, it didn't have self-propelled feature, so I had to push it. They're not super heavy like a traditional mower, but it makes your life a lot easier when there's some assistance where you can just walk behind it rather than you pushing it. So the cutting on this is really great, super smooth, better than my previous electric lawnmower that took a dump on me and stopped working. And one thing about it is the power sounds louder even though it's a lower voltage system, so I was very surprised about that. I just ran over a piece of metal that got sucked into the motor, but surprisingly it seemed like it's working fine. I was able to get it dislodged. But let's go ahead and look to see if there's any damage on the blade. I don't see anything broken or chipped on the blade, so that's a good sign. Crazy, it was wrapped around this whole motor. Just got finished doing the front yard. It's starting to rain. I'm gonna go ahead and get this charged up so we can do the backyard tomorrow. But it still has one bar after doing this whole front yard. And my yard's really big. So we have that grass over there, this little island, this whole side, and it still has some battery left. So it did run longer than the 30 minutes that it promised on the website. I like that they under promised and over delivered. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing freshly charged, have it ready for tomorrow, test out that EasySurge function because my lawn in the backyard is much taller than the front yard. It's really like 12 to 18 inches. It's pretty wild because my lawnmower broke. We'll test it out, see how it does, and then show you how powerful the Litheli EasySurge lawnmower is. One thing that I just noticed when I pulled out these batteries after mowing the whole front yard, these are not hot at all. On my previous electric lawnmower, I could feel that the batteries were getting so hot, probably the reason why that it ended up dying on me, but these are really cool to the touch. I can put them against my face, it doesn't feel warm. The last ones, if I put it against my face, I'd end up burning myself. That's how hot they would get. So very surprised with how cool the batteries have stayed. Okay, we're back in my backyard, which is also known as the jungle right now. We're gonna take some measurements to see how tall it is. In this area, it's pretty tall. 14.5 inches. Yeah, this lawn has gotten out of control since my lawnmower broke. So I don't think the normal functioning lawn mowing has enough power to power through all of this. Let's go ahead and test it out without the EasySurge function, show you that it's gonna probably actually bog down the machine, and then what it sounds like after the EasySurge function is turned on. Wow, that was actually pretty crazy. I did not expect it to do so well without the overclock function on. Did lay down the grass a little bit, but that is expected, especially because it's so tall, but maybe it's gonna do better cut with the overclock function on. But let's go ahead and show you exactly how you get it into the EasySurge mode. You just go ahead and press this button, and then you'll see it light up around the ring. So you can tell a big difference in how it cut. Inside of here is the overclock function, which does make a better cut. You could hear higher RPMs. It was a little bit louder. It is gonna drain the battery faster, but nice that you have the ability to tap into more power if you need it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this lawn up, show you what it looks like afterwards, and then give you my final thoughts and who should really buy the Litheli EasySurge. One other neat feature about the variable speed for the self-propelled mode is that it allows you to dial it down when it's nice and long so you don't bog down the motor. My previous electric lawnmower that broke was a 52 volt system. This is only a 20 volt system, and my 52 volt system would have been bogged down by this grass. So very surprised that this never actually let up, never stopped, never made me pause to wait for it to catch up. Very impressive for such a low voltage system. But one thing that I haven't tested out yet is the mulching function. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the mulcher in, reduce the height level from 6 to 5, and then I'm gonna show you how well it does with mulching. That did a really good job mulching it. So this is done with one pass on the highest setting with the bag. Then it was a little bit uneven because it was so wet and so long. Put on the mulch attachment, reduce it down to level 5, and this is what it looks like. So I just finished mowing my lawn, and I'm very happy with the way that the EasySurge cut it. Very surprised that it was able to handle it without getting bogged down, especially for the voltage system. So let's go ahead and just dive right into what I love about the EasySurge. First things first is the looks of it. It is very impressive. Looks like it's straight out of the future. The adjustable height is ingenious. I've never seen anybody ever use this type of technology. On a lot of the mowers, you have to adjust each one by hand, or you have to bend down to adjust the height. height. Nice that you can adjust it on the fly. The overclocking function and EasySurge button is very easy to access. Great for tapping into extra power when you need it, especially when your lawn is nice and long. The optimized deck airflow really does help when it comes to catching the grass clippings. The other thing that's really convenient is how lightweight and portable this lawnmower is. I've got rental properties that I gotta go mow the lawns with. The fact that I can easily fold this down in just a few seconds, lock it into place and pick it up, very lightweight and convenient. The other thing about the way the handle sits is that you can adjust it at 2 different angles depending if you have a shorter operator or a taller operator. For me, I like it on the tallest setting, but my wife actually likes things at a lower setting than I do. This is the first time that I've ever seen a battery powered lawnmower being able to double up as a power bank. I can go ahead and charge my phones with this. One of the best things about the Litheli battery systems is you can power on all these devices. We would expect with lawn equipment, like the lawnmower, you can power on a blower, a chainsaw, and a trimmer. But the best part is the other stuff it can control, like the sump pump, the paint sprayer, the portable pressure sprayer, and then one of my favorite things is this portable backpack cooler. Keep it nice and cool and temperature controlled. Not only does it control all these devices, it controls a whole array of different devices that Litheli offers. You can buy the battery pack for just $10 right now and use it as an external power bank. And if you decide to join the Litheli family, you can power on all these devices and even more. The other thing that's really neat about it is how cool it stays to the touch. I've been running this very hard on this really tall grass and it hasn't gotten warm. I really feel like that is the reason why my last lawnmower died on me that was electric, because when I'd pull out the batteries, they were super hot to the touch. They would actually almost burn myself. On my previous lawnmower, if I went to go stop, there wasn't a power on and off button. However, if the battery was still in it, it would stay on and get extremely hot. And then when I'd go to pull it out, it would be dead. So I do love that there's an on and off button, where I haven't seen that on a lot of other previous electric lawnmowers. But it's not perfect. So let's go ahead and just dive right in to what could be improved on this machine. One thing that could be improved is the way that this bag is set up. The bag actually works really well in collecting grass, but when you go to dump it, you'll see it folds in. What I would like for them to do is design it to where there's a handle here, so I can just pull out on it and it dumps right out. I can grab this corner, but it's not very convenient and you don't get a very good grip on it because it's mesh. The other thing that I would like for this machine to not do is adjust the heights in the middle of a mowing session. If I accidentally hit the function to reduce the height, I might end up cutting my lawn at a different height than what I originally planned. So I'd like for them to either create a lock function on there. The self-propelled is actually surprisingly fast, and it's almost a little bit too fast around the turns. So kind of how I've been adapting to it to not create ruts is I use the self-propelled going in the lines. When I get to the end of the turn, I remove my hand from the self-propelled mode and then make the turn, or else it can create a little bit of a rut when you go to make your turns as you're mowing. The other thing about the self-propelled mode is there's a slight delay, so when you go to press it, it takes about 1 second for it to start to kick in. And then my last gripe with this is being able to adjust the length of this pull. So this only has one height adjustment. My previous electric lawnmower was the same thing. If I need to get underneath like trees that are overgrown, sometimes I have to like hunch down pretty low. I would like to be able to adjust that for those specific settings. These are just some small issues that I have with the Litheli EasySurge, which leads me to who should purchase the Litheli EasySurge. This is by far the most high-tech electric lawnmower that we've ever tested and reviewed on the channel. It's also one of the most affordable ones, where you can use a link in our description down below to save an extra $50. And on top of that, the battery pack can double up to power your phone and other devices that Litheli makes. Check out our full run review at freshlycharged.com and make sure that when you mow, wear some eye protection and some shoes.